My fan memorabilia collection, posters and miscellaneous. Hello and welcome to the third and thankfully final part of this series, demonstrating just how much of a nerd I really am. Now, this time we're going to talk about the posters that I have, as well as a few miscellaneous items of memorabilia that don't really fit into any other category. We'll begin with posters, and we'll begin as we usually do with Doctor Who. I have a few poster-like things for Doctor Who. Probably the first kind of related poster that I had, and it's not a poster, it was a fan card. It was an Ace fan card, a Sophie Aldred fan card, her official one, I think. I still have that. I don't have it up anywhere. I have it in a cupboard somewhere because I don't really have the room at the moment. But I still have it. Now, one of my favourite posters that I had it from like the late 80s through to the early 2000s, was a giant poster of the Seventh Doctor. It was like a 25 Years of Adventure poster. It was a Sylvester poster. Sylvester was the main image, clearly from remembrance. I think he's got like the wires from the transmat in his hand. But down the side of the poster, there's a bunch of images of the previous six Doctors, from Hartnell through Colin Baker. I loved that poster. I thought it was a fantastic poster. I took it with me through like God knows how many moves, moving bedrooms, moving houses, even moving countries. And as is always the way, every time you have to take it down and take it back up again, the damage starts. And unfortunately, it basically fell to pieces in the early 2000s. However, I've kept looking for it occasionally over the years on eBay, and I can never find it. And it only occurred to me for some reason, I'm slow, what can I say, last month, that it might be a better idea to try and work out what issue of Doctor Who magazine it was in, and then look for that on eBay. And I mean, amazingly, it was actually surprisingly easy to find, because there's like a TARDIS wiki thing that actually kind of lists every issue of Doctor Who magazine and what was in it. And I actually narrowed it down to an early 1989, I think it's 140 or 141. It's the one with the Anthony Ainley Master cover, basically to announce him coming back for Survival. And that's the issue that had that poster. And I've actually found it online, still containing that poster, and I've actually got it. I've actually got it again for the first time in nearly 20 years. I don't have it up because I don't have room at the moment. That's going to be a recurrent theme of this, I think. I don't have the room because I principally kind of put all my stuff in like a media room. I have like a media room with like my home theater stuff and my DVD and Blu-ray collection and all my posters. Now I could extend it out, but it just seems kind of weird because the media room, it looks really cool actually. I don't necessarily mind having two media rooms, but you'd need to actually have enough stuff to be able to do that. Otherwise, it would just look weird. That's my opinion, anyway. But I have it, and it's in excellent condition. It's still in the magazine. I haven't taken it out. I will eventually find somewhere to put it, but I'm just really, really pleased that I've got it again, because it was a great poster. Another Doctor Who one that I do have, and I have it up, is a Five Doctors, like mid-sized laminated poster that I bought off eBay a couple of years ago. It's the image that was used on the 20th anniversary Radio Times cover, as well as on the original VHS release. So it's really kind of nostalgic and cool, and I really like that one. Another Doctor Who poster that I have like a card, but it's a bit bigger than a card. It's not quite A4 sized, of the Three Doctors. I think that was in Doctor Who magazine, I don't know, maybe early 2010s at some point. That's pretty cool, pretty atmospheric. I have a mid-sized magazine poster of Sylvester and Sophie. Again, it's from Remembrance. I think they're standing outside the Dalek shuttlecraft. That was actually in a TV Zone. I think it was like a 1990 or 1991 TV Zone issue. And I had that. I didn't take it out for like decades. It's literally like a couple of years ago that I finally decided to take it out. It's been in there for nearly 30 years. And I finally decided, you know what? I'm taking it out and I'm putting it up. That's it for real posters. I do have something else, which is actually an A4 print that I actually printed myself. And it's of the artwork on the Blu-ray cover of Shardar. Because I really like Shardar. And it's Tom and Lala, and I love Tom and Lala. And I thought it was a really nice piece of art. And I thought, you know what? I managed to get a decent kind of resolution copy of it off the net. And I printed it, and I've actually got it up, and it looks really cool. I've also done that with, I think it was on like the 30th anniversary on the BBC website for the Companions. It's a Romana 2 one. It's Lala, kind of in a City of Death outfit, in front of the prehistoric landscape, with the Skaroth ship exploding in the background. You can probably find that image online. I've actually printed that too. I don't actually have that up. Again, it's a room issue. But I've got it printed, and I will find a place for it eventually. That's about it for Doctor Who posters, I think. I'll carry on with the TV theme before we get to movies. I have a Buffy poster. I used to have more than one Buffy poster. I used to have several Buffy posters, but I kind of taken them down. They were getting a bit tatty. And again, room. I just needed room for put something else up. There were posters from the late 90s, from like TV magazines like Cult Times and TV Zone, whatever. The one I still have up was from Cult Times, and it's a fairly large one. It's not a giant-sized one, but it's a fairly large one, particularly horizontally. And it's basically Sarah Michelle Gellar crouching in the undergrowth, and then above her and around her there are images of the other characters. That's a really nice poster. To say it's over 20 years old, it's not in bad nick. There's a little bit of a tear on one side, down in the middle, but it's not bad. It's pretty good to say it's old and it's been through a few moves with me. And again, like I said, I took a few down, but I still wanted to have one Buffy poster up because I like Buffy. In terms of television, I have a giant-sized poster of Kramer from Seinfeld. It's actually a poster of the artwork that was done of him in an episode. I found that completely by accident. I didn't look for it on the internet or anything. It was actually in a Target. I think it was Target or Big W. It was only a couple of weeks before I moved to Queensland, so we're talking 2012. And they had like a stack of posters wrapped up, and they were just $2. I mean, buying posters is really expensive these days, especially giant-sized ones. And yet they were all like $2. And I was looking through them, and honestly, most of them were like modern cinema that, not the biggest fan, don't really want posters for. And then I happened to find the Kramer one. I thought, you know what, $2, I'm having that. And I still have that up on the wall. And else in terms of television? Yeah, I found this literally last month. Or maybe longer than last month when this gets uploaded, but April. It was a poster in a TV Week magazine that I bought in April. Now, I didn't mention this in the magazine video because I didn't buy it for the magazine. I bought it for what was in the magazine, which was the poster, which I had no idea even existed. I was very surprised by. And I thought, you know what, I'm buying that. It's a medium size, reasonable, it's not like a pin-up, it's a medium-sized magazine poster of the 1990 Neighbours cast. Now, I've seen the image, although it's a slightly different image than I've seen online. I've seen the image before. Again, it's slightly different. I had no idea that it was ever a poster, and I'm like, I'm buying it. I don't have it up because, again, room issues. But I'm just kind of glad that I've got it. I think it's cool. I will find a place for it sometime, eventually, somewhere. Now, I guess the last TV poster before I move on to movies is, again, it's a print that I did myself. It's an A4 print, albeit a horizontal one rather than a vertical one, and it's the Avengers. It's an image. I don't know if I'll be able to find it online again. It's basically like what somebody did. Somebody made a piece of artwork that somebody made, I think. And it's basically Steed and Emma, Patrick Macnee and Diana Rigg, kind of holding champagne glasses and looking at one another in front of like a park and a double-decker red London bus. And there's the Avengers logo, and across the Avengers logo is like the colours of the British flag. It's a really cool image, and I actually printed it out, and I've got that on the wall. I like it. Okay, moving on to movies. Now, one thing you may have noticed in the last couple of videos, to say that I am a fan of Emma Watson, haven't had very much in the way of memorabilia. Literally the only thing I've mentioned so far is that Empire magazine from 2011 with the last Harry Potter. I do have few things in the way of posters. I don't have everything that she's done, and some of them I don't actually have up, again, for space issues, but I do have some. I have a medium-sized magazine poster for the first Harry Potter, Philosopher's Stone. I don't have Chamber of Secrets, Azkaban, or Goblet of Fire. I have like a card version of Order of the Phoenix. I don't have Half-Blood Prince. I have a giant-sized Deathly Hallows Part 1 poster. It's the Harry and Hermione one, where they're both in like their party outfits. Emma looks very classy. I really like that poster. That's awesome. I have a smallish. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not finished Harry Potter yet, have I? I also have a medium-sized Deathly Hallows 2 poster. Actually, I think both the Philosopher's Stone and the Deathly Hallows 2 were actually in that Empire magazine that I mentioned, the Harry Potter one. I think that's one of the reasons I bought that magazine. Moving on from Potter, I have like a smallish ballet shoes poster. I did not buy that. Well, I did, but I didn't buy it for that. It actually came with the DVD, because we're talking 2011, which is when I became a fan of Emma. And when you become a fan of somebody, you want to see everything that they've done. I mean, I'd already seen the Potters anyway, because I was following them along. But I hadn't seen Ballet Shoes, and I hadn't seen that animated film that she did, Tale of Despero, so I ordered them. And Ballet Shoes came with like a little bit of a poster, which is okay. Wasn't expecting that, but I'll take it. I don't have My Week with Marilyn, and I didn't like it, and I don't think she's on the poster anyway, so that would be fairly pointless. I have a giant-sized Perks of Being a Wallflower poster. Now, this is a bit of a weird one, because I clearly didn't read the description properly. If I had, I would have bought something else, because it's like a patchwork of different pieces of card that you have to fit together and kind of stick together to make up the poster. I mean, it looks okay, but if I'd known it was going to be that big of a pain, I would have bought just a normal-sized giant poster. I don't know. It's okay, I guess. I do have a mid-sized bling ring poster, but I don't have it up. I did, but a couple of years ago I actually took it down and I replaced it with that Sylvester and Sophie poster that I talked about. Because I wanted to put that up and something had to go, and it was that. I don't have Noah. I have a giant-sized Regression poster. I mean, I'm not particularly like the movie. It's okay, I suppose. But I like the poster. I like the image. I think it's cool, and it looks really good on the wall, so that's fine. I don't have Colonia. I do have a giant-sized, really beautiful Beauty and the Beast. I don't have it up. In fact, I've never had it up. I bought the thing like a couple of years ago, and it's still wrapped up in how it came because I don't have the room again. I hope I can get to put it up one day. It's kind of pointless to have bought it otherwise, but at the moment, in order to put it up, something else would have to come down, and I don't want to take anything down at the moment. So, and that's it, I think, for Emma. I don't have The Circle. I don't have Little Women. So that's that. In terms of other movies, now obviously Show Me Love is one of my favourite movies, as I've talked about before. I have a medium-sized one for that with the original Swedish title, which is fucking Amel. Now, I have to be honest, I'm sure I'll get shot by Swedes everywhere. I actually prefer the Western title. Fucking Amel just seems to give the wrong impression about that movie. You know, it feels kind of embarrassing. People kind of look at it and go, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It's the name of a town, Amel." It's not about fucking somebody called Amel. Yeah, it's okay. I kind of wish I had like a giant-sized, maybe a poster of the Western one, the Western version. I've thought about getting it, but they're pretty expensive. And again, I've no room. It seems pretty daft to kind of go to that expense when I couldn't put it up anyway. That's kind of... I do have giant-sized ones of Fröken Sverige, aka Miss Sweden, and Skördel, which are Swedish movies that obviously Fröken Sverige, Alexander Dahlström, Skördels, Rebecca Liljeberg, both from Show Me Love. I find it kind of ironic that although those movies are okay, I have giant-sized ones of those, but I've only got a relatively smallish one of Show Me Love, which is the film that I actually love. I don't have Skördel up. I did. Again, I took it down a few years ago for something else. I still have Fröken Sverige up. I also have a smallish Bear's Kiss one, which is okay. I still have that up. But it's in a fairly obscure place where you can't really see it well. In terms of other things, I have a giant-sized Black Christmas poster. Though it's actually under the original American release title of Silent Night, Evil Night. Because it was originally called Black Christmas in Canada. It's a Canadian movie. But when they first released it in the US, they changed it to Silent Night, Evil Night. Apparently they thought that people would be confused and think it was a blaxploitation movie. Okay. It didn't do very well under that title. I think they later re-released it. And now it's just pretty much generally known as Black Christmas. But I actually have the giant-sized poster with the Silent Night, Evil Night title. That looks really cool. That's a really cool poster because it's like felt or something. It's not like the usual kind of plasticky feel that you get from a poster. It's like felt or something. It's really cool. It's a lot tougher as well. I like that. I have a giant-sized Terminator poster. I have a giant-sized poster of the original Halloween. That was actually in... You don't usually get giant-sized ones in magazines. That was actually in an SFX horror special from the early 2000s. And I still have that. I still have it on the wall. It's pretty cool. And I have a mid-sized magazine-style Ghostbusters. Oh, yeah, I have a magazine-style Ghostbusters poster with the logo. And I also have like an A4 card of Ghostbusters with the three main guys on it. That's pretty cool. I did have a card one, or an A4 card one of Gremlins. Obviously a cheap piece of crap because the freaking colours actually bled. It looked absolutely dire and I took it down. Again, I'd like to get another one. I'd like to get a giant-sized one of the original image with just the box. But again, there's nowhere to put it. It seems stupid paying for it when I can't put it up anyway. Oh well. I think that's about it for posters. I don't think I'm leaving much out. Now, one thing I do is I kind of use box sets almost decoratively. Partly it's because box sets take up a lot of room on bookcases, and if you can get rid of them, you've got more room for other stuff. So I've kind of started using box sets. I've started putting them on top of bookcases facing outwards, particularly the ones that, you know, look kind of appealing. I've done that with like a few things, like the classic Doctor Who Blu-ray sets. I did it with the Secret Army set, because that's a huge box set of all 3 seasons. I did that with that, and I've done that with the box sets of Wicked Science season 1 and season 2. Because again, it's aesthetic. It's an aesthetic decorative purpose, and I think I like that. Because I mean, I've got various posters and stuff of different things. It's kind of a shame, you know, because you all know I'm a fan of Bridget Novelle. There doesn't seem to be any kind of posters of her. I haven't been able to find any kind of Wicked Science poster or Neighbours poster or Sky and Lana poster. I don't know. I don't even know if there ever was such a thing. Probably not. I've no idea. Now, there are a couple of things I could actually print out that are decent enough resolution that I could get A4 prints off of. Again, it's cost and room, because printing costs a bloody fortune. Ink costs a freaking fortune. And the thing I've discovered is, when you buy like ink, you have to buy like the colour one and the black and white one, and like $100 to buy them both. And you've basically got to use them up within a couple of weeks. So you've got to have a ton of things that you want to print out. Otherwise, the bloody things dry up within the space of a couple of months. You can't just use it for 1 or 2 things, and then in another few months you want to use it for something else. Oh, the freaking thing will have dried up, and it's like, well, that was a waste of money. And again, I might do that. There's lots of things I could print out, not just, Bridget. There's lots of things I could print out. There's Buffy stuff, there's Doctor Who stuff I could print out. But again, it's finding somewhere to put them anyway, so what's the point? Okay, that's it for posters. Oh, this is a bit longer than I thought. I don't think the miscellaneous is going to be long enough to justify splitting it up, though, so we'll carry on. In terms of miscellaneous things, I have a few. I have, like, Big Finish. I have The Sirens of Time and Phantasmagoria on CD. I bought them in, like, the early 2000s. BF started like 99, I think, didn't it? And I bought them in like 2002, I think. Now back then I wasn't on the internet. I don't even know if there was PayPal. I didn't have it. And in order to buy things from the UK, you basically had to get like a freaking bank check in UK money, and that cost like $25 every time you freaking did that. And I did that, and I got them, and honestly, I wasn't that impressed. I mean, they were okay. But for the amount it cost, I really couldn't be bothered. I do have a CD of Show Me Love, the Show Me Love CD music soundtrack. I have that. I have a Dexter t-shirt. Now, again, I didn't buy this. This actually came with the Dexter Season 3 DVD set. The DVD set, I don't know if it was like this elsewhere, but the one in Australia, the Season 3 release, was really weird. It's like in this plastic kind of wrapping, and there's like fake blood inside the case that actually moves around like blood in the DVD. It's really kind of creepy and cool. And it also had a freaking t-shirt in it, which is weird. I don't really wear it. It's just about big enough, but it's a little bit tight-fitting. It doesn't leave much to the imagination. And And it's one of those t-shirts it's one of those round neck t-shirts. I hate round neck t-shirts. I like an open neck. I don't like feeling like anything's around my throat. I don't know, maybe it's all those years in freaking comprehensive school in the UK, having to wear buttoned up shirts and a tie around your throat. I don't want anything around my throat anymore, I'm sorry. But I still have it. I have a Harry Potter Emma Watson bookmark. It's the same image as the Deathly Hallows Part 1 poster. It was 2011. I had a bookmark. It was like a Tasmania bookmark, and it got ripped. It was only like card, and it got ripped. It got torn in half. So I needed a new bookmark, and like I said, my fandom for Emma had just kicked off, and I thought, why not get a Harry Potter bookmark? And I still have it, and it's actually kind of laminated. It's like in a plastic thing, so it's not easy to damage. So that's good. I have an X-Files mouse pad that I have with me now. I'm looking at it now. I bought that about 10 years ago, probably. It's in a bit of a state, to be honest. It's kind of ripped at one side, and half of it has kind of melted and is stuck to the desk. It's actually quite disgusting. I would replace it. I'm not sure how I'm going to get the bloody thing off, actually. It's going to take some scrubbing because it's literally stuck to the desk. Okay, that's not a good idea. I used to have a Seinfeld mug. I actually bought this like 96, the same time, and from the same comic book store in Adelaide that I bought the Sophie Aldred Ace book. Unfortunately, it bust. It got broke about 8 years ago. The handle came off. The handle literally came off in my hand and the mug broke, so that was that stuffed. I do have a South Park glass. I don't even know why I have that, because I'm not a particular fan of South Park. But I have it. I don't use it because it's frosted and it looks kind of dirty. I don't like it. It looks dirty even though it isn't, so I don't really use it. I do have, which I actually got for my birthday a couple of months ago, I do have now a Friends Central Perk mug, which I use to have my chocolate coffee in the morning before I get settled down for work. And about the most recent piece of, even more recent than the Friends mug, of Miscellaneous memorabilia is a 1992 Christmas Aladdin pantomime flyer. Again, I knew the pantomime happened because somebody uploaded a clip of an interview from in the mid-2000s, so that was how I found out that happened. But I had no idea that it never occurred to me to look for like a flyer or a program or something like that. I never really thought about it. It just kind of randomly came up on a eBay search for like 1990s neighbors. It's a pantomime flyer for the Aladdin Christmas '92 that Amelia did. Amelia Frid, who I'm a fan of. I still am, I guess. So I bought that. Again, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with it. I mean, I suppose you could put it up like a mini poster, but again, I don't have any freaking room to do that anyway, so... But I wanted it. What can I say? I wanted it. Now, I guess that's about it. I mean, I guess there is like another form of memorabilia that nobody really thinks about. I guess it is memorabilia in a way, and that's like YouTube videos, especially like fan music videos and stuff like that, like the kind that I do and many other people do. I suppose that's a form of memorabilia in a way, and I have lots of those, not just mine, but again, many other people's. I've actually been collecting like fan music videos since like the mid-2000s. I think I started about 2006, even like 18 months before I started doing them myself. So I guess that's a form of memorabilia as well. Okay, I've been going for literally half an hour now, so this is turning into one of the longest videos I've ever done. So I'm going to call it a day. That, at the moment, is pretty much a comprehensive look at all the memorabilia I have. I'm sure there will be more to come. Thanks for listening, watching. Hope I didn't bore you too much, and I'll talk to you again next time. Bye bye.